recently on a call with a client and we were talking about some of the benefits of Airtable. And so I decided to chop that up into a couple different clips. Here's one of them about how Airtable is set up and the structure of Airtable that I think really serves painting project management. So if you've ever considered managing your projects, your painting projects inside of Airtable, this is some stuff that I think you might find interesting. And love to hear your comments, questions below. What else would you like to see? And we'll do that in the next video. Hey, Sean. So I have Airtable pulled up here, and I was going to walk you through how we build this out for people. And I wanted to say a couple things. First is everything that I'm showing you here is customizable to your preferences. So I'm always hesitant to go too deep into a demo of Airtable without first making sure there's a few core things that are understood. So I am going to give you a quick walkthrough, but I would say if you would like to see more, I would love to hop on a call today, or I'm out tomorrow and Friday, but just was going to walk you through what we've done for some clients. But just keep in mind, if you're like, we don't want to show that information, or why is that there? Like literally, in fact, I'll show you. Like if I don't like the layout of this, I can choose a completely different interface look instead of cards. If I click into this record and I don't want to show event start date here, I want it over here, I can just click and drag this, wherever makes sense. I can make entire new groups of information. So I could add a group that is based on project data, event data, people data. I could show charts and numbers. Like there's so much stuff that can be customized or added that's like the most critical thing to understand as far as just like the setup goes. So diving into this, I always like showing what the front end is like first. So right now, because I'm an admin, I have access to a production interface, a subcontractor interface, a job leader, an operations manager, office manager, client advocate, sales manager, and so on. All of these things are visible to me. And basically what these interfaces are is it's a specific selection of data that you are choosing, like the job leader to be able to see, or the operations manager to be able to see. But keep in mind that normally you would not see all this information. You would only see the specific interface that is shared with your user. So, for example, this production interface is going to show to your crew leaders, for example, but they're only going to see the jobs that are assigned to them. So if I go in to show you this, I can go into preview mode. Right now I'm viewing it as the Boolean support user. I could switch to look at it from Abraham's perspective, and you're going to see that Abraham only sees the production of the jobs that he's assigned to that are still active. Then you've got, just switching through here, each person is assigned to work on and see different jobs. But again, keep in mind, they only see the events that are assigned to them. They can request time off if they want, or they can look at it in calendar view where they're looking at it, maybe for a month at a time. All projects, maybe I could just see the exterior projects. Looks like this particular Alexander doesn't work on anything except exteriors. Flooring projects are the only things that he works on. Then you have, that's pretty much how that works. I did pull up my phone here to just show you. This is a live view of my phone. So if I go into my phone, right now I'm logged in as, you can see here, Chris at Hello Boolean. So when I click on the production interface, like I was saying, this is the view that a person in the field would have. So I click on events and I can see the 3 projects that are assigned to me. On any one of these projects, I can click into them and then see all the relevant information about the project that would be helpful for me. I can view the Paint Scout work order. So I could, see the scope of what I'm supposed to do there. We also have, I can get directions to the job, pulls up directions. I can open the Company Cam app to that specific project. So while I'm in here, if I need to add photos to Company Cam, I just click, it takes me straight there. If I need to, this is a quick example, but like a new AWO or a new hold harmless form. This particular test project has, I'm trying to see who the customer details are. So Chris at Hello Boolean is the contact for this job. So if I make an AWO, for example, in the field, and I'll let this load here, you can see it's saying there's a new AWO specifically for Chris Kiefer. I could say this is for bathroom, which we were adding. This is going to be 10 hours, and we're going to charge, or whoops, I did it backwards, 1,000 hours, and it's going to be $1,000, 10 hours. And this is paint interior walls bathroom. And then as soon as I hit submit, this is the part that's super cool, is that's all that the crew leader would have to do from the perspective of like sending this AWO. And if you look on this side, so this is like your whole database, there's an AWO database that by me just submitting that, I just created a new AWO, which is right. Let me not group this by project. So I'm going to take that away. Here's my latest AWO, and it was for the bathroom. And I am clicking paint interior walls of the bathroom. So this was $1,000, and this was automatically added here. But you'll notice that this is still proposed. The customer hasn't signed it yet. So if you go back to my phone now, I'm going to go to my Gmail, and this all happens automatically. So I go to my Gmail, and I have a new contract from that I need to sign. So as the customer, now this is the customer's thing, they click view and sign. It's going to open up the contract and say, this was the customer's name. The job leader was Javier. The job number, that's my address. Additional work to be performed. Paint interior walls of the bathroom is going to cost me $1,000. So I say, yep, that sounds good. Sign. So now I've signed it. And then again, you can see automatically over here on the computer, the accepted amount has been now, or shows accepted. And on top of that, we also then created a record inside of the CRM system for this client so that the sales record inside the CRM matches what's in production. Lastly, on at least as far as AWOs go, if I go pull up the Chris Kiefer job, so I'm going to search for, let's do the finance view, and we're going to look for Kiefer. So we've got 2 test projects in here for me, and we have the estimated amount of the original project. And now you can see the total accepted AWOs is 5,500. And that's because I already had some AWOs in here from previous testings. But all of the work or additional work that's been priced out in here automatically rolls up. So like, let's say I go back to that AWO that was accepted. If I were to say, actually, the customer changed their mind and they denied it or declined it, and I go back to projects, you'll see that it dropped it by $1,000. So it was 5,500. Now it's 4,500. So just showing you this is like the table structure of all this stuff. So like we've got projects, events are part of projects, people are all the people on your team that work at the business in their various roles. You've got customers, companies, job sites, additional work orders, invoices, all of your customer transactions. So payments from QuickBooks or whatever payment. I think you guys use QuickBooks. Those are all going to show up in here. So you can see like deposit payments come in and see like if I go back to interfaces here, let's say like the office manager is in charge of payments and paying subcontractors and getting payments from customers. I can go in here and see, first of all, for subcontractor payments, all of that's also logged in here. So I can see I don't have currently, this company has no events that have payables that are due, but I could go to events that have past payments. And I can see on this particular project, I paid this subcontractor $390 on 6/28, and the check number was 4597. So I can go see kind of a record of these are all the subcontractor jobs that I have made payments on. They can see that. And then if I just want to look at all subcontractor events, I can do that as well. Then anyway, so there's so much more that I could show you, but I think from a high level, hopefully all this makes sense. The last thing that I do think is notable is that back to like what the crew leaders would do. If we make a list of all the things that are common for crews to have to fill out, like a hold harmless form, meaning like I'm going to move the person's fridge or something, I could go in and click generate hold harmless. And again, I'm just showing you on my screen here the right side of the data that exists. So I have a hold harmless sheet with a bunch of stuff. But let's say back to the crew leader on my phone screen, I'm going to say the client, Chris Kiefer, needs us to move chest freezer, and I'm going to submit. So that's all I have to do as the crew leader to generate a hold harmless form. You can see that it immediately popped up here. And again, it's saying that it's pending signature. And in fact, all of these are all tests that are all pending signature, because if I go to the client's email, I would see this new email for this additional, or sorry, this is the additional work order. I need to find, there we go. There's the hold harmless. Here's the hold harmless contract, view and sign. As the customer, yep, I acknowledge that. I'm just going to type in my name. Great. Sign it. And then you'll see that it's going to populate inside here. It now says it is signed and approved. And here's a signed version of the contract on my computer just for our records. So this type of stuff is where it's super powerful. And then like for invoicing, let's say these are completed projects that need to be invoiced. They don't have any at the moment, but let's say that I think we're only showing jobs that have an open balance. That's why there's nothing here. So let's do invoiced. I do want to actually show what this looks like. So if I go back to edit on the completed projects to invoice, right now I'm filtering jobs that have a remaining balance greater than 0. So if I were to, let's say, I'm just going to flip this. So they have no balance due. Now you can see, if I were to go preview this, if I need to send an invoice to this client, and again, they don't owe me anything, all I have to do to send them the final invoice is literally click send final invoice to QuickBooks or via QuickBooks. And it's going to generate inside of QuickBooks all of my line items, all my AWOs, all of that automatically, and send it to the client. And then it would show me in my invoice section that I have, however many jobs that have been invoiced and they still owe me money. I can see a record of all the AWOs that I sent to them. If there's subcontractor related things, you can see that down there. It's all here. So there's so much more I could show you. We've got job costing in here, material tracking if you want that, inventory, managing vehicle maintenance. It's like an all-in-one hub for all of that. And you get to decide the structure of it, how it's laid out. We feel like we've got pretty solid, structures to begin with. But if you want to add or move or change anything, that's always possible. So hopefully that serves and this is helpful. If you have more questions, I'd be happy to walk through anything else that's of interest. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new, my name is Chris, the owner of Boolean Automation, where our mission is to free you up to do what you love. We do that primarily by automating the mundane, boring, mind-numbing tasks that exist in the back office of cleaning and home service companies. But we also have a review software that helps you crush it in your local market and outdo everybody else as far as Google reviews go. So if either one of those are valuable or interesting, don't hesitate to reach out.